The U.S. economy is flashing red, and there are warning signs all over the place. That is the exact subject line of an email that I received just this morning. Now, it took me about 15 minutes to read this entire email, and what this person was saying, again, is troubling, but it's true. Today I want to break down what is happening, why there are so many warning signs out there right now, what experts are saying, and what report just came out today that is, again, another warning of what's to come. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So let's just break it down. What was the report that came out this morning? Well, let's look at it. Here's an article from Bloomberg, and it says U.S. producer prices pick up slightly after downward revisions. It says the producer price index, or the PPI, rose 0.2% in August, led by services. Okay, what does this mean? How are we going to get through this? Is this a very good report? Is this a troubling report? Well, that's what we're going to discuss. And here's the reason why. Look at this. It says wholesale inflation slowed again last month. It doesn't say wholesale inflation dropped, decreased, right? Went negative. It said it slowed. That's the key. Now, the reason that is the key is because inflation is still going up. That should be the concern. But again, let's just look at this chart. Because inflation, or wholesale inflation, is moderating. You can see right here. Before, we were up at almost 12%. Okay? This is again minus food and energy. Now we're at 2.4%. All right? So again, it's coming down. It's moderating. You can see it right here. It's moderating. Right? It's not going too high, not going too low. It's just coming right across. Now, here's the reason why. Some are saying that this is good news. Others say this is bad news. Because of what we are spending our money on. When we look at this chart right here, and we look at this, it's stripping out food, energy, and trade. It says a less volatile measure favored by many economists. Prices rose by 0.3% for a second month. Compared with a year ago, the gauge rose 3.3%. Okay. So if you strip out food, energy, and trade, we went up by 0.3%. It's still an increase. Okay, it's still an increase. But this is the reason why it's such a big deal. Because in the matter of 5 days, okay, on the 17th and 18th of September, the Federal Reserve is going to have a FOMC meeting. In this meeting, we will then find out what they decide to do with interest rates. Here's the problem. According to many reports, according to the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell himself, he said it's time for the Federal Reserve to act. It's time for him to most likely lower interest rates. But there's only one reason why you lower interest rates. You lower interest rates to increase spending. You increase rates to reduce spending or to bring down inflation. Inflation has been moderating. It's not going down. We're not seeing deflation. So based off of what we know, simple mathematics, if we see the interest rate go down, that means inflation is likely to go up. Well, guess what? That is what many people are already anticipating. But why would the Federal Reserve decide to lower interest rates right now? It's simple. There are a few different reasons why. Number one, and again, this is in no specific order, but one of the reasons why the Federal Reserve could lower interest rates is to make it look like Bidenomics has been working. Now, there are some things that Bidenomics has done that have worked. The majority have not. Now, the next reason why the Federal Reserve may decide to lower interest rates is because of this. The U.S. commercial real estate mortgage market is headed towards a crisis. In the first quarter of 2025, we are anticipating, or we need $1.5 trillion of commercial real estate needs to be refinanced. If it is not, banks are going to struggle. Banks will close down. And I'm not talking about just a couple. Okay? Experts say bank failures are coming. We have hundreds and hundreds of banks that are likely going to close down simply because they have way too much debt, not enough assets, and they cannot cover themselves. It's just that simple. Now, we could see some changes to policy. We could see changes to what the bank is required to keep on hand. We've already seen a little bit of this, but it could be extended, go a little bit further. And if a bank is struggling to pay its debts, what do? Well, they're going to go under. And if you have money in that bank, and again, it's likely going to be regional banks, not the big ones, but when these regional lenders go under, they're going to require FDIC insurance to cover all your deposits. Here's the problem. FDIC insurance has less than 1% of the total deposits in the U.S. That is what FDIC has on hand. So 99% of the money that is currently in deposit inside the U.S. is not insured. That's a problem. Now, here's the other thing I want to say. Because again, the U.S. economy has been flashing red for some time. But many consumers don't realize what's coming. This person wrote to me the other day and said this, and I quote, "How can you keep telling people to not buy stuff right now? There are sales literally everywhere. I walked through the mall this afternoon and every store had a sale of some kind." Why do you think stores are having sales? Do you think stores are having sales because, it's they have a fake holiday? Because they want to see you come in and put a smile on your face? No. They're selling stuff at a discount because that stuff isn't selling at its current price. That's why. They're trying to make more money. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Think about real estate, for example. When there's a short supply of a specific type of house or in a specific location, that price goes up for any house that comes on the market. But when there's a bunch of them and nobody wants them, they keep discounting the prices. Again, they're just trying to sell, trying to make money. But here's what I think is interesting. People are buying stuff not because they need it, because it's on sale. They're using their new age math that, okay, there's a riding lawnmower it's normally $8,000, but they're selling it for 50% off. It's only $4,000 this week only. And the guy that has a 200 square foot lawn, he's like, man, I could use that riding lawnmower. That could almost save me some time. Yep, it's 50% off. I better buy it. No, you probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't buy something just because it's on sale. That's what people are doing. Look at this, though. I thought this was interesting. It says retail RV sales continue to dive. All types are sinking. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine who used to work at an RV dealership, and he said that it was rough. This RV dealership they used to work at, it closed like 3-4 months ago, but he said the last few months were extremely rough. They closed down right before summer. When RV travel, people were going in RVs, and that's just what a lot of people do. He said it was rough. People couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford it. And not only this, they couldn't afford the RV. They couldn't afford the truck, okay, the large SUV to haul the RV down the road. They couldn't afford the two of those things. They could get one, but not both. This is just the start. And again, I'm bringing this all to your attention because you look at like the stories, like, okay, RV sales are continuing to decline. Car sales, dealerships going out of business because they can't sell cars. Interest rates still too high. Right? Auto insurance still too expensive. In certain states, auto insurance is going through the roof just because of the amount of thefts. I was also talking to a friend of mine who lives in California. His insurance company dropped him. You know why they dropped him? Because in his policy, instead of taking and changing the policy, they just dropped him. But in his policy, it said that all of his windows could be replaced for free. If they were ever broken, replaced for free. Crack in the windshield, replaced for free. Okay? Guess where he lives? He lives near San Francisco, where people are stealing stuff, breaking your windows within seconds, take bags out of your car, and the authorities are doing nothing about it. Yeah. So his insurance company just dropped him. That's where we're at this time. Now, again, I want you to understand what is happening. All those little stories that I'm telling you, all those little stories that we hear, they come together. And you put those in and you look at the larger picture. There's a massive crisis on our hands. And it doesn't look like it's going to be fixed anytime soon. So, the one thing I can tell you and can promise you is I will be here every step of the way, and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.